Hello.
So 12 and 9.
Yep.
What would you say to parents with kids that same age now? Now you've been through the whole 10 years of it. You've taken them right through to young adults. What any advice?
Yeah, just love them with all your heart, unconditionally. Nurture them, don't raise them, because that's what you do with cattle.
Do you know, you really annoy me when you say that. You really get under my skin when you say
philosophy.
that, Brian. I don't care.
There
You're
you go.
not Eastern.
Yeah.
You're from Liverpool.
Hello. I could eat about 1.5 million of these.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Welcome to the It's a Drama podcast.
Daddy, I love him.
My mother thanks you.
If you can't say something nice.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello and welcome to the It's a Drama podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian at 59.
We are husband and wife and we talk about travel in the world, family, food, making money online and creating the ultimate independent lifestyle that we all crave. And today we're going to be talking to you. Actually, we bring you this podcast episode on the very last day that Brian is 59 years
59,
old.
eh? What happened?
59 years young.
Oh,
It's
mind
gonna
that
be
mic stand.
It's going to be a really positive podcast, this, Brian.
Yeah.
Because what I thought we were going to do is we're going to talk about your 50s and talk about all the things that happened in your, well, not obviously all of them because we haven't got 10 years to talk about that, but lots of things, one or two things that happened in your 50s.
Just a few things, eh?
We're going to be talking about Brian's 50s and just about what you got out of being 50, what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, changes that you made, mindset changes that you made, business changes that you made, just like things that you've got from being 50.
Yep.
And at the end of the show, here's a little bit of a taster for you. This is one of those things that people say to keep you in it, like, you know, keep you listening. At the end of the show, I'm going to announce to you the plans for your birthday.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay.
See, you didn't know, did you?
No, I didn't know.
In true dramatic style, I'm going to tell you what I have got planned for your birthday, Brian.
Well, should we do this podcast tomorrow then?
Well, no, because I'm doing it now because it's your last day of your birthday. I'm not going to make a podcast on your birthday.
No.
You don't want to do that,
That's not
do
like
you?
you, Liz.
Well, I know, but I would, but I know that you wouldn't.
Yeah, we go somewhere nice. Should we do a podcast? No, let's just enjoy it.
So let's just jump straight on in then, Brian Deacle.
Yes.
59 years old.
59. What an old fart, eh?
Do you know what, Brian?
What?
Can I just say before we move forward?
Yeah.
We're going to go into this positively. We're going to be, because people who are listening to this, some people, they might not have reached 50 yet. Some people might be well over 50.
Well older than me.
Yeah, and they're going to be thinking, oh, lucky you to be turning 60.
Yeah.
So how does it feel? Like, I want you to be serious now. Don't try and be all cocky and clever. How does it feel, Bri, to be sitting opposite me? Obviously, it feels wonderful.
Yeah.
To be sitting opposite me.
Yeah.
I won't tell you how many. Well, how many years younger am I than you?
You're 8 years younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, 7 at the moment, but it would be 8
we should
tomorrow.
tell people that in case you don't know, because you might have only just found this podcast because you've read my super duper newly released book.
Out-released book.
My newly released book, The Travel Bog Diaries, and now you're following us because you just want to know everything about us. You will already know that Brian and I met when I was 17 or 18? 17, I think, when I very first met you.
Yes, it was 17.
And you were what, 26?
I was old. Yeah.
You went 20. How old were you?
I would have
18
been,
and 26, so yeah.
Yeah, so what's that, 25?
No, 18. I was 18, you were 26.
Oh, 26, yeah. Yeah, but we sort of met each other when 17, then we started dating when you were 18.
We started dating.
Yes.
We met in the town of Newquay, which is in Cornwall in England. And Brian was working as a DJ. I was in there clubbing with my friend, underage, and because I was 17.
Yeah.
And we met and just our eyes met and we fell in love. And, you know, it's all been roses really from there, hasn't it, Brian?
If you
Sunshine and roses, our marriage.
If you can picture this, when we do a podcast, we have a picture of me and a picture of Liz in front of the microphone, so we can't actually see each other. So
What are you on about? I thought you were going to say a picture of me when I was 18.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you when you were...
just like you constantly see each other as you are. Isn't it funny when you're doing a podcast? You're actually looking at each other all the time.
I know, and you never normally do that, do you? You normally just talk to each other.
No,
when
you're talking
you
at the
walk in,
side or
unloading the dishwasher or whatever, or just closing it on your way out.
Maybe we should do it at the dinner table because we sit on the corner of the dinner table, so we're not opposite each other because the table's a bit wide, isn't it? So we can be closer together.
We are bringing you this podcast from Deacle Castle, the with the Castle Deacle.
Casa Bevron. If anyone can remember what Casa Bevron was from, send me an email, Brian, at it'sadrama.com.
Even I don't know what that is.
Of course you do.
No, I don't. So we're bringing you this podcast from our home in New Zealand. We live on the North Island of New Zealand in Taranaki, on the west coast of the North Island of New Zealand. And we're bringing you this podcast from there. So let's just jump straight on in and find out. Answer the question, please. What does it feel like to be sitting opposite me now, knowing that you're going to be turning 60 tomorrow, Bri? Just, how does it feel?
Do you know what? I was doing my workout this morning, and it's because I bought an elliptical trainer 25 years ago. An elliptical trainer is a little bit like a Nordic skier, but it hasn't got the handle things. It's just feet that go around. It's a zero impact trainer. And every year you have to click it up 1 year.
What your age?
Yeah, and it's just it's amazing how it's accelerating. Because the older you get, the quicker life goes.
But that actually isn't true. You do know that, don't you?
No, it is true.
Well, no, it isn't.
Oh, well, yes, it is.
Well, no, it isn't.
Well, yes, it is.
Well, no, it is. I'm sorry, Brian. Shut up.
Oh,
Shut up. Stop being cocky.
Go on, let's hear your...
Of course it doesn't speed up.
Of course it does.
No, listen.
Go on.
Because there are 24 hours in the day.
Yes.
Same as there was 24 hours in the day in 1722.
Yeah, no.
The time hasn't sped up.
Understand this then, okay? So when you're 15...
Put your hands down. Get your hands. Stop doing that with your hands.
No, when...
Put them on your lap nicely.
I'll do it this way. This is.
Go on.
Yeah, I've been learning about confidence today. So it's how you hold your hands. And you see
that,
your hands are white knuckling at the moment.
Come on, what?
So when you say 14 years old, you have lived for 14 years, but that's your whole life, okay? So the longer you live, the more memory that you have. So coming up to 60 years old, I've got 60 years of memories to go through, so things tend to feel like they're speeding up because it's such a long, when you're 14 years old, that's all you know is that time. And that's why time goes so much slower, because you've only got 14 years of experience and memory and stuff. And I can slow time down by the likes of meditation or being present and stuff. But what I'm saying, it just seems to, oh my goodness, another year is here, but those years seem so long. When you had 6 weeks off at school when you were a kid, it felt like forever, didn't it? A week was a long time. But now a week can go in a blink of an eye if you're not careful. Well,
I'd like to challenge that a little bit, Brad, because I know.
Right, what's the next question?
I know. I know you've been saying all that, but no, I'm not being argumentative, but I just want to say this to you because I know you're saying, oh yeah, when you're 14, you've got 14 years of memories, so you've got all those memories, and when you get to 60, you've got 60 years of memories to plough through.
Yeah.
But when you get to, certainly when you get to 52, I can speak from experience. I can't remember what I did last week, so I haven't got any of those memories to plough through.
What is this?
I don't know.
You remember what you did 6 years ago, but you can't remember what you did yesterday.
I remember what I was doing when I was 7.
What did you have for dinner last night?
I remember what I was doing when I met you in the nightclub.
Yeah.
But I seriously can't. If someone said to me, what did you do in 2019? Or, what were you doing in 2021?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
That's
I can't remember.
That's because your supercomputer's getting a bit full, you see. And you only start to remember things that impact you from when you're younger years and stuff, and that's what you keep going back to, and that's what you've got to be very present at the moment.
So do you feel good about it then? Did you tell me?
Well, yeah, feeling like, what were you saying? How does it feel to be 50? What was the question again? Yeah. What was that about my trainer?
No, you just feel like time is whizzing by, do you?
Yeah, time feels like it's starting to speed up, and it has done over the last sort of 5 years or so, even more, because you're always thinking when you hit 50, you think, oh, it's not too bad. It's 10 years till I get to, 60. And it was like, then you hit 55 and you're like, I've still got 5 years to go. All right, might be the downward slope to 60, as in, just as in age-wise. But to be honest, I don't feel really that much different to when I was 50. There's a few aches and pains and things like that, but I've been keeping myself kind of strong to a degree. I tell you what, it has made a huge difference to clarity and just muscle strength is taking testosterone. Yeah. It's not much, it's a squirt of cream a day, and so that side of it, if you've forgotten to put your cream on, you can feel the difference within 2 days or something like
Hulk
that.
Comes out the changing room, isn't it?
It's just like, look at me. But people go, oh, make you more aggressive and stuff. It honestly calms you down because you end up with that speed in your mind that you can think again.
Well, let's come
You know?
back to that because that's a
Okay.
really interesting point. But let's come back to that because that is something that you've just started doing recently.
Yes, well,
isn't it?
I understand if we're going to talk about that. So feeling at 59, I don't feel much different than when I did when I was 50.
Right.
You know, physically, I look a lot different. You know, you can see it in your face, you know, more lines, wrinkles, all that
I
sort
don't
of
think
stuff.
you look a lot that much different.
No, you do. You see a picture, you're like, oh my goodness. I see you even when we traveled the world 5 years ago, you know, and then you look at pictures now. So you do see the aging process quite rapidly, like, you know.
I've got to say before we go on that your life, the reason I'm interested in asking you about this is, I mean, I would have loved it, Bri, if you'd have asked me when I was turning 50 about my 40s.
What's the next question again?
But you didn't. So yeah, I would have loved it if someone had asked me this. But
Yeah.
I'm really curious because your 50s actually are when you change the most. You changed
Yes.
everything.
Yeah. We
Well,
turned everything
you
upside
changed
down.
a lot in your 50s.
I changed a lot in my 40s.
Why?
Well, because I moved to New Zealand.
Yeah,
that
I know,
that was huge, like,
Yeah,
you know,
it is
that was
moving,
probably
yeah,
one of the
it is
biggest things we've ever done, like, you know.
Yeah.
And we did all our things in the 40s, you know, getting money together while you were so fit and strong. But 50s is completely different.
Yeah. I just think, personally, looking at you, I just think 50 is the time. This last decade is when you've had so much fun just changing everything
Yeah.
and just embracing all these different ideas and exploring all these different avenues that you've
Yeah.
gone down. So yeah, to me as an outsider, I would look at it and think, you know, okay, you're 40s, yeah, you just yes, I know we moved to New Zealand, but you were just working and
Yeah.
you know, that was it. And I know that doesn't sound very nice, but it was true. Like, you know, you were working to me, and in your 50s, it's like,
so that 55. That's I just feel like a work. It just felt like I was working. It was working all the time. You know, from finishing the house and things like that. You know, to building decks, sheds. You know, just all those things. There was literally shed loads of work, and running a business. You know, with 4 or 5 guys working in it.
So for those of you who don't know, Brian had he trained as a gas fitter, plumber, electrician in the UK. We moved to New Zealand and he came over here, and after working for a company as a plumber, he started his own heating. He went into partnership with a guy fitting European heating systems. So that's what we're talking about with your business.
Yeah, that's right.
So can you just think, if you had to pinpoint what was the most memorable, I hope to God you're going to say the same thing as I'm thinking. What was the most memorable time in your 50s,
Do you
Brian?
want memorable or pivotal?
Oh, why are you saying this? What does that mean? What does pivotal mean?
Well, like you change direction.
I'm thinking of a ballerina now.
Yeah, 'cause
big
you can go-
muscly ballerina on his toes.
Yeah, well, there you go. Just think of Wayne. What was his name?
Wayne Sleep. Yeah.
yeah.
Right, God, no, I just mean whatever word you want to use. If you looked back over your 50s, what
Yes.
would be the thing that you thought, oh my God, I can't believe we did that, or I did that?
Well, it's going to be, and I think you talk about this in your book. It was when we were sitting in Blue Lake with 10 days off and thinking, is this it? And I'd bought you a book for Christmas and you started reading it. And it's like, you need to read this. And I started reading it.
What was
and
the book called?
It was Tim Ferriss, The 4 Hour Work Week.
How old were you?
About 12 at the time.
No, how old were you?
I would have been 5-6 years ago, so I would have been 54.
54, right? Okay, I just
yeah.
want to get an idea. Of
Yeah, it was. I would have been 54 because turned 55 is when I sold the business.
Yeah, so we're in the campsite reading
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss. What happens?
Figuring out that, you know, could I implement some of this stuff into the business that I was doing, you know, and try different things, you know, with batching emails and batching calls and all that sort of, and tried to tell my business partner about it. And he's just like, no, that was not going to work for me. Because I need to be on ready, you know, 24/7 on the phone, like be able to pick it up. And I'm like, well, that's not the way it works. You know, you do your calls in the morning, this, that, and then you can get more work done instead of sitting in the office. The thing is I fell out with my business
come
partner
on, we
a bit,
don't wanna
but
go
you know,
down that.
we made up again. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Do you want to go down that? Do you want to talk about how you fell out with your business partner?
Not really, no.
No, right, okay.
No, because this is about being upbeat and
Positive.
your positive change.
You know
Yeah,
what?
but that's why you want to change, because it's like, right, I'm not going to be able to change you, but I can change me.
I know,
You know,
the
and
person
so-
listening to this right now is thinking, please tell me, Brian, please tell me about your business partner and all your gossip. Anyway, we'll save that for another time. But yeah, go on.
So that was a big changing point in my life and in yours as well, because it was just like, right, the kids were getting at an age where it's like, hey, in the next couple of years, 2 or 3 years, they're going to be finished homeschooling, this, that, and the other, and doing their own thing. And it was just like, well, so why don't we think about doing something that's going to really blow this out the water? And it didn't come to us there and then, but it was like, I need to sell that business. Within the next 6 months, it was like, right. And I remember sitting down with my business, went over on a Sunday to see my business partner and said, I'm selling it. I'm not happy. I want out. I've had enough. I want to do something different. I think he initially thought I was going to be starting up another company in competition and stuff like that. And it was the furthest thing from my mind, to go from being a tradie, full blown, literally, and like I say, employing quite a few guys. But I was the hands-on guy running the sites and laying thousands of kilometers of pipe a year,
I think it's important to say here that when we were on that camping trip and we were reading the Tim Ferriss, yes, you were talking about batching emails and all the other stuff that Tim talks about in that book. But the biggest thing that we got from that book was that why wait until you are retired to do the things you dream of doing in life?
Yes.
And that's what we started talking about. We were like, because we've always said, when we get to this age, we'll sell the house and then we'll get some money and then we'll travel the world. And we read this book and it was like, you don't need to wait. Yeah. You can make it happen now. You can take your whatever money you've got and spend it and then make more. And it was just like, it was a completely different mindset for us. And it was then that we said, well, how about if we just did sell that business and spend the money and travel the world with the kids for a year? Because that's what we longed to do, wasn't it?
Because it's. I always remember my brother saying to me, and I think I maybe said this before, but my mum passed away. I think it was 2014, and my brother lives in Florida, so he like me, he doesn't live in the UK, and he'd been putting money aside. So he said, when I retire, I'm going to take mum and dad to Europe. I'm going to be doing this and take them around, take them on holidays and stuff. And and I remember him saying to me, he said, can't do that anymore. Mum's not here. Even though he's taking my dad around the UK and stuff like that, and the various other things, you don't know what's going to happen. So this is what you're saying is like, why wait? What are we waiting for? When is it you're gonna do it? I need the financial stability. Well, then sell the house, go smaller, downsize, whatever don't be tied to that one thing, and that was what was exploding in our minds, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the other thing that Tim Ferriss said as well that really stuck out for me, and I know it did for you, was he was like, what is the worst thing that can happen? Yeah. So for instance, we were like, oh no, we can't sell the business. And we were like, why? And he's like, well, because then we wouldn't have a wage, but then you would just go and get another job. Yeah, but then you would just go and get another. Yeah, but what if I couldn't get another job? What if there was no plumbing jobs? What if no one ever wanted to employ me ever again? Yeah. Then I would start something else. Okay, well, what if I can't start something else? No one wants to employ any plumbers. We've got no money in and we can't pay the mortgage. Then you sell the house. Yeah, but then where am I going to live? Then you buy a smaller house. Then you move into a flat. Then you move in with your mum and dad. Then do you know what I mean? And
that's the downward spiral that people think that they would go on, don't they?
It's not a downward spiral. What I'm saying is, it was like, is that it? Is that what you're scared of?
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah.
You're not going to die.
Yeah,
you're not going to
walk the streets and thinking, the tumbleweeds blowing down the road. What I'm almost all alone and lost, and I should never have made that.
When he said that, because it was literally, what are you frightened of? What is it you're frightened of?
Yeah.
And when you actually say it out loud, it's just like, but those, that can be overcome. And
but it's why are you going to let that happen to you? You're not going to go, but this is about going forward. It's not about going backwards because you're leaving your job. It's like, oh, well, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? Then you're going to be clever and work around it, aren't you? And that's
anyway,
the thing.
So we're going off topic. So going back, so what was your most memorable time then?
Well, it was that. And so that led to us, we were there in the January. By I think it was October 31st, I'd sold the business the same year. So within 10 months, turned our world around, give my job up, give everything, every bit of income, and away you go. And
you still haven't said what you did with the income. What did you do?
Well, you know what we did.
Well, they don't.
Well, if you don't know. So we flew out to Florida to see my brother for his 60th, and that led to the world trip from there on.
Yeah, we didn't, just to be clear, we didn't fly out to meet your brother for his 60th and then decide to travel the world. Dave's 60th was incorporated.
Just happened to be there. It worked out very well.
So the answer is we traveled the world with the kids for a year.
Yes.
With the money that we made from the business we sold.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that you said that was your most memorable. It was great, wasn't it, Brian?
It was. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Terrified in what way?
Well, because the fear, we'd never done anything like that before. I mean, the American side of it was a piece of cake because that's just like, it's very simple. But the next step was Sri Lanka and then India. And, we were going to be doing couch surfing and stuff like that and staying in rather cheap places. And
here's a little opportunity for me to say about my book, Bri.
There you go.
My new book, The Travel Bog Diaries by Liz Deacle, written all the stories that happened on our world trip. So if you haven't got that book, you can go to www.thetravelbogdiaries.com. Had to think then.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. So, I mean, that ended up, it was just the adventure that, you see in films and things, traveling on a third class train or in a third class compartment, not by choice, but everywhere else was full. And that's what we had to go into, and thinking, what are we letting ourselves in for here?
It's my budget as well. Couldn't afford the rest.
But how warm were the people? People started standing up for us. And it was just like, no, please. I don't mind standing, because you've got kids and this. But they were like, it was just a wonderful, what an experience, and that's what travel does for you.
So your answer is the most memorable part was traveling the world for a year with our family.
For sure.
What was the most challenging part of your decade?
The most fearful time was coming home.
So in your whole 50s, the
Yes.
whole decade,
Yes.
the most challenging thing that you came across throughout your whole decade
Was when we came back from that flight. Because we were trying to set up online businesses, but they take time, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And it was so hard to actually, I remember building a website when we were in Chiang Mai.
in Thailand.
For dog products, because we were trying to think of a niche. We just couldn't think of this niche because why would you? Everyone's already done the stuff, tradey stuff's all done and everything else.
Let me just fill people in for this because this is important. So when we went traveling around the world for a year, so you've got to remember, Bri packed in his business, he sold all his business. We didn't have an income now. So we've got this mortgage. We rented our house for a year. We had nothing to come back to. There was no business to come back to. So while we were away, in the last month of being away, well, actually the last couple of months, we started to talk. We saw other people doing this online stuff, drop shipping and, making these online businesses and being that the word location independent was thrown around a lot.
But that was to do with Tim Ferriss as well with his book.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And we did. We thought, well, do you know what? If other people can do it, then we will do it. And that's what Bry's talking about. When we got to Thailand with really good internet, we would take our laptops down to the cafes down there, and while the kids would just stay at home watching videos all day because that's all they wanted to do. And we would just, like Bry said, just try and find a niche, what can we do that no one else is doing, or what could we do that would make us money, that would enable us to travel the world and keep on traveling and pay us money every single month into our account. Yeah. And we can do it from wherever we are in the world. Yeah. And we started off with dog products, didn't we?
Yeah.
And actually that went on to become very, very successful.
Well,
and
it
still
did.
remains to be successful.
Yes, it is.
As an affiliate site, as a market, as a ads.
Yeah, we don't
site.
sell any physical products on that site
don't.
anymore because it was just that was enough because it took a lot of work in the mornings just to, people go, it only takes me 20 minutes a day. Well, it doesn't really. It depends how well automated you've got the site.
So much work.
And then if something goes wrong, you've got to contact the supplier and it's like, hey, this, that. And so there is a lot of work involved in that, but it's constantly in your head as well. So
going back to, you came back from the trip. So in the whole of the decade, walking back into our house that day was just the scariest, most challenging part. Yeah,
that was the challenging part because I just thought, okay, so that's that fear side of it is like, what am I going to do for money now?
Yeah.
I could have gone back and done some jobs here and there, but I had a 3-year sort of not gagging license, but it's a restriction of trade within the area going back into it. I could work for someone else, but I couldn't set up my own business.
Yeah, but you're not going to go and work for someone else, are you? When you've worked for yourself all your life, that would be hard to go back being an employee sort of thing.
I mean, you make good money. I would have been on, I don't know, $50 an hour working for someone, maybe more, So you'd be making good money, over $100,000 a year.
Did you ever regret what we'd done? Did you ever think, why have we spent all our money on that round the world trip?
Oh, no, never once. Because, this was that when you're working so hard, I didn't miss out on the kids' growing up because I spent a lot of time with them. I'd play football, mountain bike with them and stuff like that, and all those great things that you would do as a dad. I didn't miss out on that stuff, but I just felt I was missing out spending as much time as I could with them, and when would the point come when they don't want to spend time with me, so that to go away was the thing. But coming back, it's that feeling when you come back. It wasn't easy.
Okay. All right, so I think you've answered this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Was there any time during your decade between your 40s and your 50s that what one moment did you have an aha moment?
Between the 40s and 50s?
Like when being 50.
Right, yeah.
You're not 40, are you?
Yeah,
You're not, yeah.
it's
I keep
50,
thinking you're turning 50.
Yeah.
But you're not, you're turning 60.
Yeah.
See, I'm sitting opposite.
It's that pictureless.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
I wish you'd
There
just
you go.
remove it.
Yeah.
No, I would. As you know, Bri, I mean, this is a completely different conversation. I don't believe in birthdays and ages and numbers. And I do think it is just a load of rubbish.
Yeah, but you do on your birthday. As in, you expect that nice prezi and stuff like that.
I don't. I don't. I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
If someone turned around to me now and said to me, "Oh, he's 56," I'd just, "Oh yeah." I wouldn't go. I don't know. Anyway, that's a different topic of conversation. But as you know, I don't. I'm not a one for let's stick to our ages, and I don't care. It's just how you feel and how you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bri, was there any moment throughout your decade that you just thought, "Oh my God, aha!" The aha moment. Was there something there that you just thought?
Well, that would go back to.
Was it the Tim Ferriss?
The Tim Ferriss thing, yeah, because that just opened your mind to different things. Yeah. The other aha moment was when we were sitting on a beach in Greece, and reading a book about the mind of meditation. But they were like two big.
Stop trying to make it all about you. This is just about your 50s. Stop being greedy. This is about your 50s. Was there an aha moment? I'm thinking, Brian, Italy last year. You there on the wall?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Well, no, I'm just thinking. Do you want me to just jog your old memory there, Brian?
Well, no, because I was thinking more about life together and stuff like that. But the aha moments was when I changed doctor last year, and I've talked about this. Go and get some blood tests, and it's like something not quite right in your blood. A few more tests, and you find out that you're celiac, and you have got to give up gluten. So that was an aha moment, and. Because what that made me think is hang on a minute, I've never really ever been to the doctors with health issues, right through my whole life, apart from a bad back and, that was about it really. Then I thought, so what is this? What does this do to you? It's only wheat. What's wrong with that? What, how can you be allergic to bloody wheat, when everybody in the world eats it virtually? And then just looking into it and then figuring out how the body works. I think that to me, because that 6 months we were away, I must have spent hours and hours searching, not so much just longevity, but just down to what is, mitochondrial function and what is ATP and all those sort of things and telomeres and everything about.
I was reading Bridget Jones' Diary.
Yes, you were reading Bridget Jones' Diary, and I was like, all right, we're not eating that. We're not eating this anymore. We need to just get more of this into us, and plenty of oleic acid and stuff like that. All those olive oils and things, and we were doing most of it anyway. And just what was bad about processed food, stuff like that. So
was your aha moment?
That was I didn't realize about the body. Even just down to your cup of coffee in the morning, and just that what's the difference, and a bit of intermittent fasting. This was just a huge eye-opening thing for me, because to me it was always, we grew up, but you ate low-fat foods and you grazed, throughout the day, and it's just no, that's not good.
Okay, so if someone said, what way have you changed throughout your 50s? From being 20, 30, 40, and now you hit 50, have you changed in any way as a person that you just think, oh, I'm not like that anymore, or I don't do that anymore? Or has there been something that's stood out to you particularly?
With age comes that a little bit more wisdom, to be able to actually listen to someone and not just think, oh, no, hang on a minute, you don't know what you're talking about. And that constant going on in your head is just why don't you just listen? I've got the time, so why don't I just listen? And, realizing that it's about, how you treat people will how they treat you back. Like, because when you're younger in business, it's just, I need to get this done. Come on, get out my way and get it done. Like,
You've never been like that.
No, I have to a degree when at certain times in your life. And I just think, you hit that 50 and you start to mature. You start to look at things in different ways. Like, it's not about the race to the finish line. Like, it's just about, what? I just need to enjoy what I'm doing, like,
Yeah.
And those first sort of 5 years, I didn't not enjoy them, but I just knew it could be better, And when I see the last 5 years to how I feel now, and we're not making tons of money or anything like that, and I've never been money driven. I'm more about being happy. I don't really care what it is that we've got. I drive a 10, 12-year-old car or whatever it is. I really don't care, like, it's more of a challenge and more fun to keep that car working and doing stuff to it. And this is what I enjoy, like, and that's what I've enjoyed of not thinking, I need that new car. I need the latest model, like, it's like at one time I would have had to have the latest computer, the latest phone, the latest watch, the latest this. And it's just like, hey, do you know what? It does the job. That does the job. It doesn't,
What phone have you got, Brian?
I've got an iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's coming up 2 years older.
What's that on your wrist, Brian?
It's an Apple Watch 6. Considering they're up to Apple Watch 8 or whatever it is.
People sitting here thinking that you've got this little.
No, what's this Rodecaster Pro 2 over here?
This little dial-up flip phone thing, and
yeah, that's it. My StarTAC. Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, like, it's that. And I think moving to New Zealand really beat that out of me, because you just don't get the marketing here the same as what you do in the States or in the UK. It's that you must have this, you must have that.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've learned. It's just like, do you know what? Just slow down. You don't need all that crap. It's just goes in the loft at the end of the day. Do
you know what? I think what sort of surprised me then, and this is what I love about you, is when you said, with age comes wisdom to listen to people.
Yeah.
Because there are so many older people, I'm not saying that you're old, but there's so many older people that get to a certain age where they actually go the other way. And they're just like, oh, shut up. What do you know?
Well, I don't need to be listening to you
I've been on this
anymore.
earth longer than you. Be quiet, And they do. They become cantankerous and they become obnoxious. And like
that's because they need testosterone.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but women do it as well. Mind you.
But then they need HRT or whatever works for them.
True.
You become bitter and twisted.
I know. So I agree with you. I think I actually always think you have been an amazing listener. You have been, ever since I met you, you've been an amazing listener.
Yeah.
But from an outside point of view, what I would say, I would agree with you, is that you are now able to listen to other people's opinion and take them on board and then say something, rather than, like, well, this is my opinion. And I'm not saying like you were like, oh, this is my opinion and I've always been right. But I have noticed a massive change in you in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Just sitting down at the table with the kids and stuff, just that you listen and a lot more. I think it was when I told you about the 3-second rule. I think that really helped with you, didn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, that was your pivotal moment.
That does. I only have to listen for 3 seconds, and then I can jot in, like, jump down your throat. No, I think one of the biggest things is not everybody wants your advice, and I think that's if they ask you for your advice, then I'm happy to give you my advice, and I'll give you more than advice if you need, like, but. I think that was a big point, even over the last 3 or 4 years. It's just like, you know what? You haven't asked for my advice, but I'm telling you what to do. Yeah. So
yeah, do you know what? It's funny, isn't it? Because people tend to say, "Oh, kids and teenagers, and they just don't know these days," and they come up with some brilliant things. And one of the brilliant things they came out with that taught me is they had this really annoying thing where they would just say "when." So when they were talking with each other, and they'd go, and I said to her, "When?" And I remember saying to Tess, what does that mean? Why do you keep saying that? And she said, when did I ask for your opinion? And I just thought, it actually stuck with me because we do tend to go, oh, and this is how I feel. And it's like, I'm sorry, did I ask?
No.
Did I ask when did I ask? So I just love that. And it's something to learn from
Yeah,
kids,
it is. And the other thing with kids is like when they play a song and they go, this is brilliant, this. And you go, no, it's not. That's not the original.
Oh, we did that last night.
I know,
What are you on
yeah,
about?
but I know, but that's
Don't
like,
say that.
yeah, but not all the time. Sometimes you go, oh yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah, I like the other version too.
I've never heard you say, oh, that's a nice one about the original.
But I know, but you just want to go, you don't know enough. You don't know as much as me when I was a DJ.
Well, just to fill you in, on the story. So last night, Sonny's, with his girlfriend and stuff, she's at her house and he's here, and I don't know if anything's gone on or whatever. I don't know what's happening with them two. But all of a sudden, he starts playing Endless Love. The original, of course, is, and you always know when your kids start playing sad songs, something's going on.
What's happening?
And he was playing it on the piano, and then he comes in and he's playing it on the phone, and he said, oh, I love this song. So, do you know this song? He said to me, do you know this song? And I was like, I couldn't resist. I had to say that cocky ass thing that parents say. I said, do I know this song? I've lost count to the amount of...
the movie?
I've lost count to the amount of times I've cried to this song, Sonny. And he sort of looked at me as if like, well, that's a bit sad. But but he was playing the version by Luther Vandross and Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
And we jumped down his throat and went, oh my God, no, you've got to listen to Lionel Richie if you really want to.
Diana Ross, what's the way she trills that bit there?
We were right old swines, weren't we, Bri?
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're on about. Because you're not
yeah,
good at
I know.
that, neither am I.
Yeah, but then he said like, and this song, I love this song, George Michael singing Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And he's like, the one with is live with Elton John comes in and goes, that must be great to, be George Michael and to know that you've written that song. And I went, hang on a minute. He didn't even get the 4-second rule.
Did he
It was
not?
like, no, he didn't write that, mate.
But I don't think you're right about that.
Why?
Elton John wrote that song.
I don't think Elton wrote it. I think it was Bernie, whatever his.
Oh, did Sonny think George Michael had wrote
yes,
it? Oh,
he'd written. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so going off on again now.
Yes,
so
there we go.
let's bring it
Elton
back
would have
round.
done the music to it.
Talking about children,
Yep.
our kids, when you turned 50, our
Right.
kids were 12.
Yeah.
Sonny was 12. He's now 22. That's
Yeah.
scary.
I know it is.
Tessa was 8. She's now, Tessa was 9. Shit. Get the age of my kids right. Tessa was 9. She's now 19.
Yep.
So 12 and 9.
Yep.
What would you say to parents with kids that same age now? Now you've been through the whole 10 years of it. You've taken them right through to young adults. What any advice that you would give?
Yeah, just love them with all your heart, unconditionally, and nurture them. Don't raise them, because that's what you do with cattle.
Do you know, you really annoy me when you say that. You really get under my skin when you
Eastern
say
philosophy.
that, Brian. I don't care.
There
You're
you go.
not Eastern.
Yeah.
You're from Liverpool.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to be like that?
Because when I heard it that time, and that's what I felt like I'd hopefully done with my kids, was to nurture them, not shout at them all the time, but, it was just bring that out and do that. And
See, I don't think of it like that. I think of a flower raising out of the ground.
yeah.
Anything that grows it grows, doesn't it? It just, that's good.
Yeah, and that's it, stays in one place.
You can write that quote.
Yeah.
You can have that on me. Anything that grows just grows.
Just grows.
Oh my God,
This is
I'm amazing.
philosophy. When it grows, it grows. When it's dead, it's dead.
No, but do you know what I mean, Bri? It
Yeah.
doesn't stand still.
No,
Something that grows. It
Yeah.
gains strength, it gains wisdom, it grows. I always picture a tree growing.
Yeah.
So when you have a go at me for saying that, I mean, you
Right.
don't have a go at me.
No, I don't.
Just remember your 3-second rule, because I can see that you're itching there to jump in and
No, I'm
interrupt
not.
me. But when you say, oh, no, you shouldn't say you raise children,
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely word. What's wrong with that?
Because that's what they say. Is
Who's they?
It's
Buddha?
not far off it. Yeah, yeah. The guy with the blue face.
Go on, anyway. So you would love them unconditionally?
Yes, it was that more than it. I'm only saying that because
Do you like being married
I
to
know
me,
it gets up
Brian?
your nose. 'Cause-
Thank you for that, Brian. That's lovely.
yeah. So it's when you look back at pictures when you see them when they were younger, and you just think, oh, why did I ever get angry at you? Why did I ever say, don't do this, or that, or when you fell off your bike, well, you're going to learn from that, and you won't be doing that again. It's why just pick them up and just give them a hug. Yeah, because there'll be a time when, and that's it. Hold the hand whenever you can, and just things like that. When you go out walking, and just go and say goodnight to them when they're laying in their beds, like, you know, and just those things, it's so important. Don't just think, oh no, I'll wake them up. No, just go and wake them up and kiss them goodnight, because they're just so grateful when you do things like that, like, you know.
I think you have been an absolutely, and continue to be an absolutely fabulous dad. An absolutely 100% excellent dad. Don't look at me as if I'm going to say something mean, because I'm not. I'm sincere when I say this.
Right.
When you grow, Brian. Don't ever forget that.
Wisdom. Just listen.
Wisdom by listening. Cool. No, I do, darling. I think you've just been an amazing father and continue to be an amazing father. So, you know, I sometimes when I hear you, like you listening to your podcast about people who are telling you this and telling you that, and I just think, you already know that, Bri. You're already you're living it. You're doing it.
Do you know what? I like to listen to those things, Liz, because I like to think, how long did it take you before you found that out? That you know you need to be like that, you know? And it's like this new thing that they've just found out, and you're like, okay, so then you want to know their background of why didn't they feel like that before? Like, you know, why wasn't they couldn't think outside the box, or why? You know, and it's. I think
people overcomplicate things. I really
do.
do. I mean,
they really do.
Your answer to the question.
Life is simple.
It is.
Yeah.
And your answer to that, what do you do with kids? It's just like, that's it. It's just love them unconditionally.
Yeah.
Just keep loving them and just throwing love at them and just.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just be calm with them. Just be, you know, there's times when you need to be firm, but that they know when they've done something bad. And, you know, I always remember the one thing that you said to me, Liz, which stuck out to me a lot, you know, is that time when you'd done something bad and, you know, you thought you were going to get hammered from your dad, or that's what it was. And, you know, and he came up to them, sat on the end of the bed and played the guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what? And it's not like, oh, I'll get away with it next time. It's like, no, it was almost worse than being told off, because you knew how it made you feel, you know? And that's what you got to nurture inside the kids. It's like, you know, when you're doing something wrong, and you know how to be. And, you know, I've got every confidence those kids could travel the world tomorrow if you just put them on a plane, they'd fly out and come back, and I know they'd be safe, you know, because they're
savvy, aren't they?
They're savvy. They're round.
Yeah.
You know? They're not being square and put in a box and, you know, you've got to do this by then and then and then. It's just like, you know what, just take every day as it comes.
I know.
I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and just going, again, this is a great topic, but I don't want to go off too much of a tangent, but, you know, I think we battle as well with when we're parents, especially of young adult kids, especially now because things are expensive, it's hard to get ahead. You know, it's just, there's lots of things going on online. People trying, like Sunny, for instance, trying to making money online. And that's a slow process, as we just said before. And in one ear, you've got, your kids shouldn't be at home now. Like, you know, they should be gone. You should be, they should have, yeah, well, exactly. And then, and the other part, because I was thinking this the other day and I was thinking, oh, you know, I should be charging rent. He should be out now. No. Because that's what society, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But then just going back to what you just said about my dad with the guitar and the love and stuff. And I just thought, do you know what? I would just want my kids to just know that they can stay as long as they want, you know? We're here. It's just, as long as we can be here for you, we will be here for you.
Exactly.
And that doesn't make them, and I just
doesn't make them a weaker person.
It doesn't. And I just want to stress this because I know from experience, when I started homeschooling, and I'm sorry, I don't want to make this all about me because this is about you, but I'll just tell you this quickly. But when I started homeschooling the kids, the biggest thing that people said to me was, if you homeschool those kids, if you take them out of society, if you take them away from their friends and out of the school, they will not know how to socialize. Yeah. And those words, it was like the devil threat just in my brain. Like, you know, it was like, I dreaded that they would one day grow up and be one of those kids that just stand in the corner, like, you know, can't give anyone eye contact. I've said this to before, and I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to reassure our kids. They can out-talk anyone. They can do anything. Like you say, they can go on a plane. They can go do whatever they want. Our daughter's down in Wellington, you know, on her own. And it's just like, so I'm trying to remind myself of this because part of me is thinking, if you let them stay at home, if you keep paying for them, they're just going to think, oh, well, this is an easy life. Why do I need to go and get a job? That's not true. That's not true. Yeah. They're not thinking that. They want out as much as anyone wants out. They want to be independent. But when they can't, when they physically or they can't, then at least know that they've got a place to just be and stay and are loved and are safe and just, Yeah, and so
Yeah, I hope that's at the home. The home
sorry
is
for just jumping in there.
No,
Brian, but
no. The thing is like I left home when I think it was 27. So
yeah, you
there
did,
go.
yeah.
I, I'd moved out for a short time, moved back in at home because it was there, and
I know.
And
look at you, you're normal.
I'm a weak person. So and one more thing I wanted to just say just before I let it go is that last thing with the kids is don't put onto your kids what you didn't do or wanted to do.
Oh, I'm always doing that. I'm always
no.
saying that.
Yeah. So like if you don't make them go and play rugby if just because you didn't, but you think they can, don't make them play sports, this, that, and the other, because you didn't and you think they should, and or dancing because I could have danced and I never did. It's like, no, let them see what they want to do, and not so much what they want to do. Yeah, you've got to try them with a few things, but don't push it.
And I think you learned this going back to you in your 50s, and I think I actually witnessed this happening. When Sonny he was about 12, 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And you, being the tradie that you are and the very, very handy guy that you are, I mean, you're super handy,
yeah,
was very, very keen to push Sonny down that route. Not push him down that route.
Well, it's how things work. And
it's
it was just like, hey, this works like this, so you can fix it. You know if it goes wrong, or you've got an idea when you're driving it, you know what the mechanics are, so, don't push the car too much on its side because it'll go rolling around or it'll spin or whatever. And so that's what I tried to push on as a dad. But
there was one time, though, Bri, that I thought that you were going to get cross.
Go on, say it.
No, I just thought that you would be disappointed that he wasn't going to learn a trade. So I remember thinking, do you want him to be like a plumber, or an electrician? Do you want him to be a builder? What do you want? Now, Sonny, for anyone who knows Sonny, and obviously you probably don't know Sonny, but he is the opposite of that. He's an entertainer, he's a showman, he's a online entertaining, singing, dancing,
he's
drama
a performer. That's
performer.
all you need to say. He's a performer. He comes alive, or he lights up when he performs.
He is
no matter whatever it is.
Yeah, he has got no interest whatsoever in becoming a tradesman or learning anything there is to learn.
He's crawled under houses with me. He's laid kilometers of underfloor heating pipe when he was 14. He's painted pipes in a school that needed painting before they got fitted and screwed together. So, he's done videos on YouTube of painting.
Yeah,
it's just like, all that sort of stuff. He's done, but he was never interested. He was so happy when he went home.
Right, Brian, so what excites you? We're going to wrap it up soon. So what excites you about being 60? What are you most excited about?
It's getting a nice pipe and some slippers, settling down and keeling over.
Oh, Brian, don't.
No, do you know what I mean, Liz? That's what everyone would always think when you get in your 60s. I think it's just changed. When I was a kid and someone was 60 years old, it was like they were ancient. Like, they had glasses on. They were still smoking or whatever it was they were doing, coughing all over the place, and just look weak and frail. And I just think at 60 nowadays, people are realizing, I can still do this. I can still go snow skiing. I can still, if I look after myself, I can still do these things. So are you
going to answer the question?
That's what I'm looking forward to, Liz. See where it takes me.
Oh, right.
That's so, it's like I'm not thinking I'm in a decline. I'm in the latter part of my life.
Certainly not. Not at 60.
No, but a lot of people are because they're gearing up. This is the last 20 years of my life.
I don't know. Is that true?
Of course it is.
No, it was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, but it's
now
changing.
60 people.
Yeah, but it's
60-year-old people.
Yeah, but it's changing, and the world is rapidly changing now. With the introduction of all the new technologies of AI and things like that, and as long as someone doesn't pull the pin on those nuclear bombs, we'll be fine. So I'm just saying. So it's so exciting the way it's going to change.
That's very, very, very depressing what you just said.
It is, Liz, because that's what I grew up with. It was that. It was that. That's what we knew, and then you like now everyone's getting excited about how far can I push this? How far can we live? Can we make it to 120? In that way, I'm only halfway through.
And exactly,
it makes you if you feel in that way. Now I've got to 50. I've only got 20, 30 years left, and I'll be popping me clogs. It's like, well, it's up to you. It's like that's what that light bulb moment was last year when you said, and it's that excitement of thinking, well, you know what? it's as long as you make it. You
So
know?
if you could do anything if someone said to you now, okay, Brian, you're just about to turn 70
Yeah.
and what you did this in your 60s, what would it have been? What is the one thing that you think, I mean, you know, because obviously there's probably lots, but is there one thing that you think, I am going to do that in my 60s? What are you going to do, Brian?
Definitely going to do a bungee jump.
Are
in
you?
my 60s, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah. And it's
God.
crazy because, you know, I've lived in New Zealand for 14 years, never done a bungee jump. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, I think the back is just strong enough that I can do that.
Brian, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
no.
definitely. So next time we're around that.
Okay, so
I've got to
bungee
take my
jump?
son as well because Tessa's already done one, isn't she?
Anything
Yeah.
else?
Get back to doing some snow skiing. I'd love to start doing some snow skiing again.
God, really?
Just love being
I
in
don't
the
want to do
mountains. Oh, get lost.
No, I don't,
Well, I'll
Brian.
just go by myself.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you like
I
to?
don't know.
No?
I don't know. It's just not something that anyway,
Wow.
you know, this
Yeah,
isn't about
there's nothing
me.
quite like that.
What about me? What about
Yeah.
me?
It's like that clarity of light, hey, Les? And, you know, I've got to get back over to England and see Liverpool play at some time. You know, because it's a long time since it was back in the 80s the last time I went to Liverpool football ground.
What about going to India and just trekking, you know, just walking?
Yeah. There's no snow there, is there?
Oh, no. I hope we're not going our different ways, Bri, as you reach 60. Because you're saying, oh, I want to go snow skiing, I want to go and watch Liverpool play. Well, neither
Yeah.
of those things I'm coming to you with.
Well, why not?
Well, because I'm not.
Well, you are. You would be coming to see them because I know you'd love to see that.
Yeah, I would actually.
Yeah,
As
you'd
long
love
as
to
Kenny,
feel
as
that.
Kenny Dalglish was
Well,
playing, I would.
is Kenny Dalglish stand? We could maybe go and sit up with him
Yeah.
if he's up
yeah.
there. Yeah.
All right, then. So now has come the time. Yes, because I was just going to say, I could just keep talking to you for ages about this. Can I just ask you one more question?
Yes.
So what would you say is the most successful thing that you've done in your 50s?
The most successful thing I've done, there's quite a few big. The most successful thing was going around the world and, you know, keeping the family safe. That to me was just what an achievement. Second was that brilliant drive we did down last year. That was a super success. You know, in that old car that, you know, it's like driving a hand grenade. It could have just gone here, there, and everywhere. Like, you know.
So we bought a car in England and we drove
Yeah.
it to Greece and back.
Yeah, a 30-year-old car. And picking the kids up from Athens airport, them flying out from New Zealand by themselves, and us driving down through Europe, literally, you know, the night before on the ferry, and literally the next day.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was that feeling
Yeah.
was just, it made me feel so alive. And just, you know, I even think about it now, you know, I can feel the chills. It was just brilliant. So that side of it. Another one of them was, you know, I always wanted, when I was working as a tradie, always wanted to design a full-blown eco heating system for a school and, you know, install it. And it went sort of one better. So Green School New Zealand, they came to me and said, you know, would you design our heating systems? That side of it, you know, kind of stressful and everything else, but again, what an achievement at the end of it to go, you know, I did that. And, you know, I implemented not only that, I project managed the whole building of the stage one. So that side of it was brilliant, like, you know, really a huge task. As that was the pinnacle of your career to get to that sort of feeling of that point that I'd worked all my life to do that. So this all happened in my 50s, like, you know, so people say, oh, you know, it's not as good in your 50s or whatever it is. Well, it certainly was, like, you know. So I was just looking over because I just saw something flash on my broadcaster and I thought...
I think your 50s were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I did promise to just come back to the...
And one last thing.
Oh.
The other achievement is helping people at the moment because, you know, I always used to help people put heating systems in houses to keep them warm and this, that and the other, which I always thought was helping them. Yeah, they pay you a lot of money and stuff like that. But just that feeling I get now from seeing this community that we've built that bring people to New Zealand, help people relocate to New Zealand to bring their skills here, you know, from doctors to accountants to engineers to teachers and all those
Vets.
nurses and just all those brilliant people that are in our group. And to feel that I'm helping those people, you know, to give them friends here when they turn up. It makes me feel warm inside. You know, when I go on Slack and sometimes I don't comment too much, but I'm reading their stuff and it's just like, wow, these people are doing it. You know, got such and such from Texas and you got someone from South Africa, someone from Canada, someone from England. You know, it's just, wow. You know, all these reaching out to all these people around the world. And that side of it makes me feel very good. And just, so that's why I say I'm happy now with what I'm doing, because it's like that. And here I am talking to you on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
And can I just say as well, before we move on, just talking about our community, we help people we support people who are moving to New Zealand. And we have got another podcast called NZ Ahead, which is just constantly topped up with moving to New Zealand and living in New Zealand content.
Yep.
So you can go over to nzahead.com or find it on your favourite podcasting app. We just talk all about New Zealand over there. But I just want to give out a special shout out today to a special guy in our life. He's called Bert. He's from Belgium. He was one of our very first members of our community.
Yep.
In our moving to New Zealand community. He's absolutely fabulous. We went over to Belgium to see him last year, and he hosted us for a couple of days.
Yeah, and he saw us on the way back from that trip from Greece.
He was just absolutely wonderful. And he has had a few health problems the last few weeks. And we just want to give a big shout out to you, Bert, and tell you how much we absolutely love, adore, and appreciate you. And get well soon, my love. And we're just thinking about you. And
if we don't see you in New Zealand in the near future, we will come and see you when we come back over to Europe.
Yes, definitely.
Because, for sure, definitely.
So going back to one before we close up, the health thing, you did talk about testosterone. You've started taking testosterone cream, which has made a massive difference to you. Like you said, it just stopped making you feel agitated or whatever.
Yeah, but you just feel your body starting to wither a wee bit, like, you know, and your stance starts to just all the muscles don't they don't build, they start to go smaller, like, you know, and it's like you're heading up to 60 and it's just like, you know, it's to then take testosterone and, you know, I'm not saying it's the only thing that's making you, you know, strong again, but it's going to help that skeletal mass and keep your bones strong, and it's going to keep your muscles and joints strong as well.
Is there anything else? Because you are you're a fit guy, and
but you've got to work out. Strong. You know, you can't just take the testosterone.
No, I was going to say, is there anything else that you would put on that you would say to people who are maybe just coming into their 50s now or in their 50s, and they're just? Is there anything that you can recommend or you would say?
With the workouts, I would say, you know, don't do as much cardio. You know, don't go and do an hour of cardio or 30 minutes of cardio. Just do 15 minutes, get your heart rate right up. Then do, you don't need big workouts. It's amazing because, you know, my workout lasts around about 45 minutes. That's 15 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of resistive training, you know, and I don't do bench press because I hurt my shoulder a long time ago. Just do press ups.
How often do you work out?
I try and work out 5 days a week. You know, that's what I aim for. And then the other times we'll go for a walk, hopefully on Saturdays or Sundays, which again, you know, so I get plenty of 7-day workouts.
I like drives now. I like swapping the walks for a drive.
Well, like, you know, stuff like skiing.
Just listen to
just listen to our podcast. Yeah, not our podcast, but other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
And the other thing is just drop down to that bit of intermittent fasting, you know, just that 12-hour, 14-hour break between your last meal of the day and the first one the next day. You know, I'll get up in the mornings. I always have my bulletproof coffee because that doesn't break you fast. It's got butter blended with MCT oil, and you can put the water-soluble fiber in there as well. And you just don't feel hungry, do you, in the mornings? I don't anyway.
I'm starving now, though.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry now because it's 1:15 and we haven't eaten since last night.
It's gone on long enough.
Yeah, well, I don't feel starving. I just think I could do with some food now. But I've worked out and everything. So that's what I'm saying. That will just if you can just do those set things that I'm talking about, those simple free things, as in they're pretty free, as in, you know, not eating for 12 hours is free. And doing your workouts, I just work out at home in the gym, in a bedroom, anywhere. You can work out anywhere, can't you?
Yeah.
I don't have lots of weights of racks and, you know, some couple of dumbbells and just use them. That's all you need.
Yeah.
8 to 12 kilo, 10 kilo dumbbells, that's it.
And you do your Tai Chi as well.
And then 15 minutes of Tai Chi, and that's what I was doing. But just doing those things, hopefully, you know, just health-wise can put 10 years of your life on your life, you know?
The other thing as well I just want to say is that, from an outsider's point of view, is you have always been really, really great at being open to suggestions.
Yeah.
You know, you've never been one for like, I've told you so many things, you know, so many things. I'll listen to a podcast and you should do this, Bri. You have never been like, no, that's just rubbish. That's not going to work. You've always been open to trying new things.
Yeah.
And just giving it a go.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you, is because you're just like, you know, you're not stuck in your ways. You're always open for change. And I think that is a really good tip to give people, is just give it a go, you know, because we do, you know, we have this, I'm not as good as you at it. I tend to be like, oh, no, that won't work for me. I'm not that kind of person. That only works for that sort of woman. And I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I was more like you, because I've seen such brilliant changes in you that, you know, when you've implemented something or you've been, okay, I'll give that a go. Yeah. And it's made such a massive difference, or just been really positive in your life, that I've just thought, yeah, it's a wonderful skill to have, Bri, just to be able to just say, be open-minded. I think that's the word, is just be open. Just be open-minded and willing to give everything a go.
You've got to give it a go and listen. And even if you don't like something, as in you don't like, I don't like the way that sounds, or I don't like the way they say this, and you know, I'm not prepared because I'm on this and I know this will work for me. It's like, they are trying these other things, not one thing. And that's the thing, Liz, which if you can take from this podcast, there is not one thing that you can do will make you better. It's not just one thing. It's everything in your life, you know, because, you know, or you take this one food and it will cure this. It will sort you out for the rest of it. It's like, no, you've got to, it's a whole diversity of everything, like, you know, so it's the diversity in life. That's what it is, isn't it? Like, you know, to want to try these other things. And if you don't try them, you'll never know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, so that's the little interview done then, Brian, all about your 50s. That was really good fun. And now, and I've been keeping this secret from you. I've got to tell you, and I'll tell you why I'm going to tell you in a minute. Don't be looking excited, because you're not doing a bungee jump and I'm not taking you skiing. Okay. So lower your expectations. Yeah, shall I get my fidget thing out? No, put that down. Stop fidgeting. No, so what I wanted to do today is just tell you what I've got planned for your 60th birthday. Yeah. I don't tomorrow. I don't know why I'm doing it on the podcast. I really don't. No, neither do I. No, neither do I. But do you not want me to? My reaction's going to be what? No, we'll just try and get excited. Okay. And then next week, what I thought we'd do is come back and talk about how the weekend went, because it's Friday tomorrow. Your birthday is on a Friday. Yes, and it's a public holiday in New Zealand tomorrow. Yeah, it's Matariki, yes. Yep. So just for me. Yep. So next week we'll come back and talk about how it went. I have got a present lined up for you, but I'm not going to talk about that today, because that's something that I need to tell you in private. Right, okay. So, and it's not a skiing trip. So again, don't be thinking, oh yeah, you know, she's sending me over to Colorado for a nice big skiing trip. And right, so jump. We're not going to Colorado. So what is it? Is it a car racing? No, it isn't. It isn't anything like that. Please don't think it is, Brian. All right, okay. No, because listen, it's been quite tricky for me to organise this. So, okay, ready, Brian? So here's what's going to be happening. Tonight you've got Mum and Kev, some family coming over, and we're going to be... Damn. Oh my God, Brian! Okay, no, okay, I'm listening. And we're going to be getting a takeaway. Yeah. And then tomorrow on your birthday, we're going to do presents in the morning. Yeah. I'm going to take you out for breakfast. Where are we going? Don't know. I'm going to take you out for breakfast. Have you booked it? No, not yet. It's a public holiday, you know. Oh no. Okay, so we're going to go down to Ming's, have some breakfast after you've opened your presents. After I've opened my present. I'll say that again. Present. And then we are driving down to Wellington. Oh, are we? Tomorrow? Yes. And we are going for dinner at a tapas bar, which I have booked actually. Oh, right. Okay. In Wellington, and then we're going to see Kinky Boots. Oh, are we? Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know we were doing this. I was wondering I was going to see Peg tomorrow. With Tess and Finlay. So we're meeting them down there tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, Sonny is driving down. We're going to go out for breakfast. We're going to have the day in Wellington, and then Sonny and Hannah and Tessa and Finlay, and we're all going for a meal in the middle. So who's driving down tomorrow? Just me and you tomorrow. Oh, just me and you. Yeah, just me and you. Sonny's going to follow it on Saturday. Right. He's coming down with Hannah on Saturday. Okay. He's going to go and see the show in the day while we're out doing a bit of shopping or whatever we're going to be doing. Where are we staying? Just down in Wellington. Right. And then... Where are we staying, Liz?
down in Wellington. And then
Are we couch surfing?
there was a bit of a problem with the accommodation because of the public holiday. But anyway, so we're going to be having a lovely time. And then going on Saturday night, we're having a huge family dinner together. So we're,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, and then on Sunday we'll have our breakfast and then we'll drive home. And then next week we'll come back and we'll tell you all about it and how it was.
Okay. Oh, that sounds great.
Did you not think I'd done anything for you?
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't think we were driving on my birthday down to Wellington.
Yeah.
No, so that's just like, wow. And we see Kinky Boots.
Yeah, Kinky Boots.
Yeah, which is about a factory of northern workers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the north of England.
And so,
Wow,
we've got all the tapas bar and everything, the meal booked before, and then go to see Kinky Boots. Yeah. And then after Kinky Boots, maybe we can go and get some cocktails in the that really nice cocktail bar.
Yeah, the library.
No, not the library. The one where they've got like the really low lights and people play.
Oh, that's the Hawthorne Lounge.
Yeah, that's really nice.
The Hawthorne Lounge.
Should we go there?
Yeah,
Just have a B52 or something like that, or just a nice whiskey just to celebrate your.
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
good.
No, the cocktails there are actually quite strong and nice.
Oh, there you go then.
So let's go there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so until next time, when you join us next week, and you'll find out all about. So he's got a big smile on his face now, so that's really great. I've done that job well.
Yeah, I've taken that picture down now.
Yeah. You can come back next week and find out all about how the birthday weekend went. We're going to be happy and excited to share that with you. Until then, take care, stay happy. Thank you so much for being here with us, and I will speak to you next time.
And at the end, the last day of 59, I'll be 60 next time I speak to you. But don't forget Kia Kaha, which is stay strong, and that's a bit of testosterone. So then get on the testosterone. If you're 40 years, then start taking it from then. That's my
Are you going to finish off?
word of wisdom to you. Yes, Kia Kaha, stay strong. Ki'u, stay true, and that's true to yourself. And see you next time.
Okay.
Thanks, Liz.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode. We have loved having you here. If you haven't yet bought a copy of my brand new book, The Travel Bog Diaries, then I would love you to go and grab yourself a copy. If you are a traveller, if you are a parent, if you are an aunt or an uncle, or someone who just loves a really good laugh, then you will love the stories that are within my book. It's all about traveling the world as a family with very little money, far too many hormones, and very, very little patience. It's honest, it's real, and it's such a good laugh. You will absolutely love it. You can grab a copy of that book right now by going to www.thetravelbogdiaries.com. Go over to there. The page tells you where you can buy it from all over the world. I really, really appreciate you for doing that. You will love the book. And if you have already bought the Travel Bog Diaries, thank you. I appreciate you. Bri appreciates you. And if you have got time, if you've got a spare 5 minutes and would like to leave me a review, that would mean the world to me. You can do that by going to www.thetravelbogdiaries.com/review. Just hop on there. It literally takes a few minutes, but it means the world to me. So thank you so much. Me and Bri love you. You're fabulous. Have a brilliant week, and I'll speak to you soon.